Hey everyone, it's Inkarn here, and today I wanted to bring you all another Mystic Mind deck profile, different from the Time Lord one. This is basically the Trap Burn variant. We do run Lilith in the deck, Ceasefire, etc. We run a lot of a lot of normal Trap Burn decks in here for Lilith to search, etc. I'll explain more later in the video, so let's get into it. So starting off with the spells, since this is a Mystic Mind Trap Burn deck, obviously want to run 3 Mystic Mind. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects nor attack, and vice versa. If you have more monsters than your opponent, your monsters cannot attack or declare, cannot activate their effects or declare an attack. And during the end of phase, once per turn, if both players control the same number of monsters, destroy this card. 2 Terraforming to search out Mystic Mind. 3 Pod Duality. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 for the rest of the turn. You cannot special summon, but doesn't really hurt the deck. 2 Pod Duality. You run the majority of the trap cards. The majority of your trap cards are 3 of, so really banishing a couple of copies isn't gonna hurt the deck a lot. Plus extra draw power. And for the hand traps, in case worst comes to worst, Called by the Grave. For the trap searcher, we run 3 Lilith, just in case worst comes to worst. Tribute itself off the field. Search 3 traps from your deck, and your opponent, shuffle it in your hand. Your opponent randomly chooses 1 for you to set to your side of the field, and shuffle the rest back into your deck. But that basically does it for the monsters. Finally, the traps of the deck. And we do run 3 Ceasefire, one of the best traps when it comes to inflicting damage. If any face down monsters are on the field, flip them face up. Their effects do not activate, and your opponent takes 500 light point damage for each effect monster on the field. Next up, 3 Just Desserts, a worse version than Ceasefire, but inflict 500 damage to your opponent's light points for each monster they control. 3 Secret Barrel, inflict 200 points of damage to your opponent for each card they control and in their hand. For each card on your opponent's side of the field and in their hand. Just wanted to clarify that. 3 Secret Blast. What this card does is inflicts 300 to your opponent for each card they control. But what I love about this card is if they happen to pop it with say Twin Twisters, your opponent actually takes and sends it to the grave. Your opponent takes 1,000 damage instead. So say they pop 2 of these on the field, that's an extra 2,000 damage to your opponent. So really, just kind of bait them. And 3 Ojama Duo. I don't have Trio, unfortunately, so I really had to work with what I had. But special summon 2 Ojama tokens. Beast Light level 2, 0 attack, 1,000 defense to your opponent's side of the field in defense position. These tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon, and each time one is destroyed, its owner takes 300 damage. We don't really do that. We just use it for the additional monsters to burn your opponent's life points with Just Desserts or Ceasefire. But yeah, that's about it for that card. 3 Ring of Destruction, mainly for the extra damage in case your opponent has a tricky boss monster on the field. 2 Floodgate Trap Hole. I don't run 3 because I don't have a third comp. Well, not really that. I think 2 is just a good enough ratio. But when your opponent summons a monster, so therefore they have to summon it, change the monsters or monsters to face down defense position, and they cannot change their battle position they just can't change their battle position in general. 2 Dimension Wall, a better magic cylinder because it doesn't target, and in case you can't get Mystic Mind, this is a better out in case your opponent manages to get an attack in. 2 Waking the Dragon. If this card in its owner's possession is sent from the field to the grave because of an opponent's effect and is now in the grave or banished, you can special summon 1 monster from your deck or extra deck. And I will go to the extra deck later into the video. But finishing off the traps, we do run 2 Chain Hole from Dark Neostorm. I love this card because, what's it called? When your opponent basically activates a monster effect in response to your card effect, you can negate the activation. And sorry, let me just read the card. When your opponent activates a monster effect, like I just said, in response to a card or effect activation, negate that opponent's effect. Then your opponent can banish one card from their hand or deck with the same name, with the same original name. So say they activate a Saryuja, you basically force them to banish a Saryuja from their deck, if I have the ruling right. And if not, if they do not, you could banish one random card from their hand instead. So really, it's a win-win and negation as well. But that'll do it for the traps of the deck. So for the extra deck, it's all personal preference. If you have any other different choice of cards, by all means, alter the extra deck however you feel. But anyways, we do run one Star Wars Quantum Dragon, one of my favorite level 7s other than Black Rose Dragon, purely on what it does. What this card does is if it battles an opponent's monster, you can return that monster to your opponent's hand, and it can make a second attack. Next up, Scarlet Red Dragon Archering, mainly for the destruction and infliction of damage. One Crystal Wing Dragon for the monster negation. One Beals for the heavy attack. One 38 Harp Dragon Titanic Galaxy for the spell negation. Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon for the heavy hitter. And one Borlo Dragon. Like I said, if you have any other ideas for the extra deck, don't be shy. Comment down below, or if you want, just alter your build, really. But that does it for the extra deck. Alright everyone, so that does it for the deck profile. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Give the video a like or a dislike. Do what you feel is necessary. Comment down below. I say this all the time, but if I do not get to your comment or I do not reply, that means I am busy, or maybe I just did not see it. More likely I'm just busy doing other things. Maybe getting another video out for you all. Subscribe if you're new, subscribe if you want. Do share the video for those who are interested. No, sorry. Share the video if you know someone who was interested in trap burn decks or any deck profile I put on the channel in general. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I'll see you all next time.